In this video, I'm going to show you the latest updates to the Artifact platform. This update is mainly focused around the artwork registration form and the features that we are including, or new features we're including to the registration process and product altogether. As you can see right now, I'm just logged in as an artist. We've kind of enhanced the product to be more simplistic to every user. And different features have been launched for different user groups. As you can see on the top right, there's a very clear-cut Add Artwork button. This takes you directly to the artwork registration form. For now, let me just take you directly to the control panel, which is the private dashboard, which also provides an area where you can add artwork to the product. So you can manage your artwork through the My Artwork tab, where you have the ability to add art, view completed registrations, or edit completed registrations, as well as view or edit any unfinished registrations that you've saved along the way. So for today's video, I am specifically going to take you through the new artwork registration form and the new features that are tied to it. So this artwork registration form now has become a lot more simplistic. We have now taken up the whole page for it. We've focused on the user interface and the overall experience for the user. It was a goal of ours to dramatically increase the efficiency and decrease the time at which it takes to take a registration form up live. We've changed a lot of the rules on the forms. We've incorporated predefined terms. We have also, as you can see, added 6 new art types to the platform. So apart from painting, sculpture, installation, and drawing, we now have performance art, we have mixed media, digital art, collage, video art, and printmaking. So for this video, I'm just going to roughly just go through painting registration. The first page out of 5, second page out of 5 pages is the media page. Now on this page, we've also made it much more simplistic. We've also added a new feature which we think would really enhance the overall experience for both the artist as well as a general viewer. So apart from being able to upload picture and video, we allow 5 pictures and videos to be uploaded per area. So the artwork itself, the process of creating the artwork, as well as anything that has inspired the artist that the artist would like to add to the artwork registration form. After all, this is what can be seen as an extension to the artwork online. It is primary source information directly from the artist, just to ensure that there is always a source that either the media or anyone else can kind of navigate to read in the artist's own writing if the artist is looking to kind of be explanatory. But of course, the artist has the ability to use this to speak cryptically, to question their audience, really whatever they would like that defines them as a creative. So what we have also included, apart from 5 pictures and videos for every area, is embedded video. Now, embedded video allows for the artist to add any existing YouTube video or upload a video, any video to YouTube, of which they can connect it directly to their artwork portfolio here. So on a very basic level, the artist has the ability to upload an interview that they've conducted, or a video of themselves explaining the artwork, or a video of them making the artwork, a time lapse, or pretty much anything that they feel would really complement the experience altogether. So it really comes down to whether or not the artist really wants it to be a text-heavy registration or portfolio, or a video-heavy. But then again, they can have both. So kind of moving forward, well, actually, I will just quickly add a image just so that we can publish this really quickly, and you can see how this comes together. All right. So going to the next step is what we call the basics. So a lot of this is optional, really, because if you're registering a performance piece, a lot of this is really redundant. But then again, it's really up to the artist to include what they choose to want to include. They do have to include a title though. It can be untitled, but they have to write that. So actually speaking of, I will call this untitled. And this is a 2D artwork. If it's a 3D, I just check that box. If not, let's say it was 22 inches by 50 inches. I started making it in 2016. I completed making it a month later. Could be in 2 different areas of where I started and finished it, but let's say for this video, I have started and finished it in the same place in Singapore. Now, what previously were short answer questions that created independent tags on the product, we realized, that kind of was a little too open-ended for the artist registering. So what we've actually done is we've been working really hard to create predefined terms for every single question that allow us to group pretty much 99% of art that could be included, that could be registered to the platform on different public pages. So every single tag is a tag that an artist can be found by. It is a tag that a viewer or onlooker, an aficionado, can search by. So this comes down to techniques, bases, components, styles and movements, as well as, of course, the influences and subject matter of the piece. So just to show you how this works now, the predefined terms for every single category are live, starting with technique, as you can see over here. So if you don't really see your technique listed, you have the ability to include it as other. There will always be an other option. Now we will review the other options and kind of go back to the drawing block every couple of months to make sure, if we have missed out on anything, we can actually add it in and group art accordingly from that point forward. So I will just leave it as that. As you can see, now that I've finished out that box, it's gone green. Now moving forward, a lot of these are optional, but of course, if you do include them, if you have the ability to include them, we recommend that you should. Why is because these are reasons or are options that the artist and artwork can be found by. So if you don't have a base material for your work, of course, check that box. But if you do, we suggest selecting it from the options over here. And of course, other is also mentioned. So let's say for the purpose of this piece, it was on canvas. Now I can add components as well. So let's say acrylic and spray paint. And last but not least, was it actually inspired by a specific style or movement? Now, this goes all the way back to BC. We believe we've really covered a good gist of them, but if not, there is also an other button, which we reach out to you to just confirm. But pretty much for the most part, let's just say that this was an other. It wasn't influenced. I just want to just select an option. I don't have to, but there we go. It also goes green. And last but not least, we have a short answer question. Now, the short answer question is what led to the creation of the artwork. Now, the artist can choose to tell a story. Of course, we want to know the backstory in prose, but that's really dependent on the artist. They have full control, or they could just not fill this in. Of course, it enhances the artwork, the image of the artwork's portfolio on the platform. So let's just say I just want to artwork because, and just quickly fill this in. Now, moving on to the next step. We have pretty much those are your compulsory steps. Now you could actually just click next all the way and submit it and you'd be done already. But of course, you don't want to do that. For the provenance area, we've revamped this altogether, made it a lot more simplistic, a lot more speediful, if that's a term. But what we've actually done now is we've kind of left it to the institutions and the galleries. If they register and they choose to register any showcases or exhibitions to the platform, we will add them here and the artist will have the ability to connect. accordingly. Of course, if the academic institution or art institution, foundation, etc., gallery has not been registered to the platform, they will not be able to build upon the provenance. We kind of want to leave it to the institutions that do want to partner with us first before we just open this out and allow it to work both ways. So let's say it was made in an academic institution and it was made at Artifact Art Residency, and it was part of the residency showcase in May 2018. Now this can be also done for any galleries and gallery showcases that are registered to the platform. But let's say for now, let's leave that blank. We also have an area for ownership. Now, the artist does have the ability to leave this blank, of course. The artist does have the ability to include an owner and keep the information private, of course. Or the artist has the ability to just provide us with, or provide the public with the data of who owns the work. Now, what we recommend, or what we're trying to test out with this feature, is we want the artist to keep the owner's information private. I think it's the best practice, but to include something here. And why? Specifically, because of one use case that I think could be very beneficial for many artists around the world. Now, this is, let me explain this with an example. So let's just assume that you're an artist and I purchased a work from you for $2,000. And as an artist, yes, it was a piece you're very passionate about making, and you're sad to see it leave your possession, but at the same time, you're happy that it was sold. Now, what you can do is kind of keep it dear to your heart, or develop a relationship with the collector, so much so that the collector would want to sell it if the collector may want to sell it in the future, and sell it through this portal. Why is that? Specifically just because we could now set up a 20% commission fee, and that 20% commission goes directly to the original artist. So it kind of creates a relationship between artist and collector, and allows for the artist to make money off of every single subsequent sell of their work. Now, why is that beneficial? It's beneficial because the artist can make art that they are passionate about making independently. It also, dramatically affects the artist's economic standing and well-being, so much so that they can make less work and live a comfortable life, which is something that many artists struggle to do. And I think that's very important, and should be in control of the collectors, of course. Now, moving forward, if the artwork is for sale, be it through a gallery, be it through a dealer, be it through the artists themselves, etc., we don't actually sell art for the first time on this product. Even reselling, we haven't really set up right now. That was kind of just a user test, just to see if there is interest. But what we do is we redirect any kind of viewership straight to the seller for no commission, of course. So if you list out a website, let's just assume in this case it is ours, and there is a specific email tied to the sale. The artist has the ability to list that over here, of which we will connect you. So moving forward, that really sums it up. And you're taken to the last page. Now, in the last page, this is really where the artist can really work on being found. These tags really, really help the artwork be sourced. These tags are the influences or the subject matter that is tied to the work of art. Now, what and who can an artist or an artwork be influenced by? We have 5 main categories, all with predefined terms as well. So these are people, places in the world, events in time, specific objects, or other artworks. So for this example, let's just say there was an event that this artist was influenced by, which I can click add another, and we have, as you can see, a list of predefined terms, including racial, sexual, musical, natural, educational, scientific, etc. So let's say influenced by birth. How were you influenced? I was influenced by, and that's it. I mean, you can choose how you want to respond here, of course, but you can add up to 10 of every single influence. So 50 specific influencers are allowed per work. So all of these are essentially, they work as tags, very similar to how that works on other social platforms that you see online. They increase the rate at which you can be found and sourced through. We highly recommend it for artists. It also dramatically affects the interactivity of your live portfolio. Now, moving on, the last section is the subject matter of the artwork. Now, the subject matter relates to a symbol on your physical piece that is connected to a historical, political, environmental, religious, personal, creative event, conceptual event that has taken place. So our categories here are history, politics, and social systems, all of which function in a very similar way to influences. Everything has a predefined term. Now, what is different is the fact that we allow the artist to include a visual cue if they would like, that is connected directly to the artwork itself. Now, they can expand on it as well if they'd like. Now, apart from history, politics, and social systems, we have creative arts and language, science, nature, and technology, people and objects, as well as, and last but not least, the personal, the everyday, and the emotional. Once you get through this, you just summarize your work, of which you just need to make sure everything has been filled in, and all you have to do is click the big green button down below. If you'd like to review any specific page, you can just click back through one of these links or through any of the above buttons to navigate. So once I click the big green button, it becomes published, of which we can start sharing it directly on Facebook, on Twitter. We can copy the link, of which you can now paste it on an email, connect it to your website. Really up to you. It creates beautiful thumbnails on social media. It creates thumbnails on iMessage, Slack, you name it. You can throw this around everywhere, and that's really the point, right? Instead of actually having an artwork, an independent website, you're part of a larger ecosystem, or specifically just an artwork encyclopedia, where people can now source for all types of art according to perspective.